One of the main questions that I get every semester is, Kyle, how do I prepare better for completing homework assignments well and doing well on exams? And surprisingly, there really aren't that many revolutionary tips, but there are some really basic ones that actually go a long way. An online class specifically can be much more difficult than a face-to-face class because you're kind of at the whim of your own ability to stick to a schedule. There's not a set standing time where I'm going to be lecturing, and it's up to you to kind of stick on pace. So some of the things that might be helpful is to set a specific time of the day or multiple times during the day where you will plan to actually do your calculus. Maybe that's going to be, hey, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I'm going to work on calculus material. And that way you know that every day that's what's on the schedule. Now, regardless of what that time is or how many days of the week you might be able to set that up, having something that's at least kind of locked in place can help you to make sure that you stay on pace with the class. It's not fun to fall behind, and falling behind early can be really detrimental. So staying on pace can be really, really important. So what that means is watching all the videos throughout the week, not trying to cram by watching, say, all of the videos for a given week on a single day. That's not going to work well. The other thing would be to actually try to go through and complete the worksheets that we've already talked about in previous videos. The worksheets are the best way for you to practice the content that we've actually discussed in the lecture videos. Lecture videos may only contain 2, 3, maybe at most 4 examples, and that's not really enough when you haven't personally worked through the problems. So it's really, really important that you spend time practicing on your own so you can really develop a robust understanding of all of the ideas being discussed. So focus on those worksheets, look at the solutions, come to office hours, ask questions about what you don't understand, but you have to engage in the content. Now, when it comes to exams, what I always recommend is to typically treat exams or to give exams kind of a week worth of preparation time. So here for exam one, what I would typically be doing if I was a student is backing up about a week from that day. And so I can see here that on a week before the exam, we're going to be in section 2.5. And so I'm going to be thinking, starting on that day, I need to prepare for the exam. That means I need to go back through and think through all the old content and make sure that I fully understand it, as well as make room for the two final pieces of content and sections that we'll be covering up until the exam. So starting on this day here, I might go ahead and try to make out a daily schedule of, hey, how am I going to review? Maybe on this day I'm going to go back and review section 2.1 and maybe redo the homework assignment associated with it, redo some worksheet problems, really make sure that I get the material. Maybe on the next day I'll practice 2.2, and like I can make a paced out guide for myself so that way I don't get overwhelmed and feel like I'm cramming everything on the day before the exam. Notice that on the days, though, before exams, we will often have a review day, which is essentially just going to be a day where we don't actually have anything to watch, and you can just spend that time practicing. So whatever time you had set aside to normally do calculus that day, you can now just use to prepare yourself for the exam. But of course, that may not be adequate time to prepare for the exam, which is why I suggest planning a week out. The biggest part of pretty much every class and doing well is it's all about how much effort and time you put into it. And that effort and time has to be dedicated not to simply memorizing procedures, but again, understanding the concepts that we go through. So really try to push for that early in this class, and you'll see it again continue to pay dividends as you continue through the rest of this course and courses to come.